Right, I've got to ask, is it a postscript or is it a footnote? Either way, it's at the end of the video. Please stick around to watch it. Right, my name is Paul, I'm also called Knick-Knack, and if you've been following these reviews over the past few weeks, you'll already know something about me, but let me recap if you're a newcomer. I'm Paul. I do the daily teaser set of quizzes on both my YouTube channel, Mr. Cuddy2977, and on my blog, Knick-Knack's Old Peculiar. I talk about movies I've watched, and I really should sit down with something at some point. I watch TV shows occasionally. Just recently, I've been watching, or last Friday just gone, I've started watching Star Trek Strange New Worlds, and the first episode is not perfect, but very strong. I've also been watching, for the past few weeks, I've been watching the third series of The Mandalorian. Last night was Monday the 19th of June. Tonight is the 20th of June, and tonight is the night I'm going to be telling you what I thought of the episode I saw last night. Episode 4, also known as Chapter 20, also known as The Foundling. Let me tell you what I thought. The Foundling opens with the usual summary of earlier episodes, showing us the formal joining ceremony for a young Mandalorian called Ragnar Vizsla, I think it's pronounced, played by Wesley Kimmel, and Din Djarin, Pedro Pascal, the Mandalorian of the title, rejoining the covert he'd been exiled from. The scene shifts to show us the covert in combat training, with Din eager to show off Grogu's skills to his fellow Mandalorians. With Din eager, he enters his adopted child into a challenge match with Ragnar, something Grogu easily wins, jumping about like a mad thing and launching off a sci-fi paint gun. Very exciting. Tragedy strikes, though, as Ragnar is seized by a large flying raptor and cannot be rescued, as Ragnar's father, Paz, voiced by Jon Favreau himself and performed by Tate Fletcher, fails to get to his son in time. Paz's one consolation is that the group's newest member, Bo-Katan Kryze, Katie Sackhoff, launches her ship, traces the creature to its mountain lair, and all of that in very good time, and then returns with the knowledge of where the creature's lair is, and with a plan for Ragnar's rescue. The only problem, using Mandalorian jetpacks and aircraft will tell the creature someone's coming. The troop are going to have to do a sneak raid up the very steep slopes of a mountain. Now, what did I make of the Foundling, and who was the Foundling of the title? That second question's the easy one to answer, or at least I think. It's both the kidnapped Ragnar, who's the newest member of the covert, and Grogu himself, which sort of brings me to a point or two I feel I should highlight. I've said this before, and I may well say it again, that I've appreciated The Mandalorian's short episodes over the past few years. This third series, up until episode 3, the first 3 episodes average out to some 44 minutes apiece. Saying that, the first episode was 35 minutes, the second 42 minutes, and the third, The Convert, episode 3, did seem a touch long at 56 minutes. That's why they average out at 45 so far. It's an extremely well-paced 56 minutes, but 56 minutes nonetheless. It's just slightly pushing it. By contrast, The Foundling was 30 minutes, half an hour and 39 seconds. It seemed, to paraphrase Mark Kermode, it seemed about 5 minutes too short. And yes, I know that is coming from a man who's repeated it several times that he appreciates brevity in television. I like short. And this episode is, ironically enough, slightly too short for my taste. It could have done with that extra 5 minutes. That said, The Foundling does tell its tale very well. It gives us more insight into Bo-Katan Kryze, the Katie Sackhoff character. She gives a very good and very regal performance, but one that also shows us exactly how frustrating she's finding her new life. Just by giving that expression on her face when she takes her helmet off, or the one time she can take her helmet off. The episode, indeed the series, is making a big thing of the fact that Din Djarin's group of Mandalorians, they never take their helmets off. Bo-Katan's former bunch do. So it's showing us more of the world and the universe that the Mandalorians are part of, and has a nicely daring rescue mission. And it gives us a little more insight into Grogu's backstory as well, showing us in a flashback exactly how he was rescued by rampaging clone troopers by an unnamed Jedi. There's more of that in the footnote, I should add. Granted, I feel this episode could have benefited from an extra 5 minutes of runtime, but as it stands, it's a very watchable episode. Let's leave that there, along with telling you I gave it 3 stars out of a potential 4. Let's leave that there, apart from adding one thing. I will, of course, be watching the next episode of Star Trek Strange New Worlds ad astra per aspera on Friday the 23rd of June, this coming Friday, and I will be posting my written and video reviews of it on Saturday the 24th. I will be watching the next episode of The Mandalorian, Chapter 21, The Pirate, on the 26th of June, and have my written and video reviews of it up on the 27th. I would frankly love it if you'd care to join me. I would love it if you were following my blog, following Knickknacks Old Peculiar, and my YouTube channel as well. That way, as soon as I post those reviews, you get to see them. I will see you then. I will say goodbye. May the force be with you, if that's how you want to go. And to quote the immortal words of number 6, be seeing you. Right, I'm possibly going to call this a postscript when it comes down to actually putting this lot together and, editing things together in iMovie. However, this is a little informative post-thing video clip to give you a little background. I mentioned the flashback that Grogu's involved with. Basically what happens in one of the prequel movies, in Revenge of the Sith, the Emperor orders the deaths of every Jedi Knight his clone troopers can find. Many of the young trainees, including toddlers like Grogu, were killed by Vader himself. Grogu is rescued by a Jedi that's unnamed in this episode, but named as Kelleran Beck in some of the Wikipedia entries and fan wikis I've read. He's actually played by Ahmed Best. He's played by the same actor that played Jar Jar Binks in the prequel movies, and it's got to be said the actor's possibly having an easier time of it. Jar Jar wasn't necessarily popular.